Good news! The Happy Weight podcast is now offering subscriptions on Spotify. So subscribers are going to get access to all the past episodes, plus exclusive bonus content every single month to support you with your eating and weight mindset. And if you're not ready to subscribe, don't worry about it. You're still going to get free weekly episodes as normal. But if you want, join me now, subscribe, and I'd love to help you take your mindset to the next level. Hello, this is Aoife Dean and this is the Happy Weight podcast. So today I'm going to be helping you if you're feeling on one of those days, which of course we're going to get lots and lots and lots of these days, where you just have some sadness about your body. You're just kind of sad. It is the way it is and you don't like it and you'd like to be somewhere else and you'd like to feel different to this. And so I have a few pointers for when you're feeling like that. And so the first one I think is so important, right? Because this is understanding the whole thing. Because the fact of the matter is, like, you are not sad totally because of your weight. Because you were the same weight 2 days ago when you were having the crack with your colleagues over lunch in the canteen. You were the same weight when you were laughing with your partner last night over something, or having a really good chin wag with your friends or whatever. Like, stuff like that might have happened to you over the last few days. Like, there have been some happy memories maybe in the last week, and you were this weight and your eating wasn't significantly different. So it's false to say that you can't be happy at this weight. That's actually false. And for a lot of people that I'm working with as well, they actually have been heavier, or they have been a weight that they didn't like as much. So to say that today I am unhappy because of my weight, it's actually always untrue. So it's that you are unhappy and your weight is what you take it out on. So we are humans and we're going to have emotions. We're going to have energy in motion, which is emotions. We're going to be feeling things. And then that's the terms and conditions of being a human. We're always going to feel things, good and bad. But the problem can be is when we start attaching some of those feelings to a subject in our life. So rather than, you know, that Rumi quote about the guest house, and, you know, let every mood come in and give it a chair and listen to what it has to say and just like welcome it. And Rhonda Byrne as well in The Greatest Secret talks about the welcoming practice, that actually the best case scenario is always deeply, deeply embracing the feeling, just the feeling, but not going into a storyline with conclusions of, I wouldn't feel like this if I had eaten different this week, and I wouldn't feel like this if I had lost more weight. That's the part of it that's really not true. And the biggest danger with that, right, is that because if you feel sad and you blame today's weight, even though, like I said, you actually have had the crack over the last week with someone when you were the same weight, so it couldn't be your weight. The thing is, you neglect the emotion. So the emotion doesn't get dealt with. It probably gets stuffed down. And then you don't help your body either. Because if you fall out with your body, you're not going to listen to it. You're not going to trust it. If you get down enough, you're probably not going to care that stuff doesn't taste nice and you're going to eat it anyway. You're not going to care that you're not hungry. You're going to eat stuff anyway. You're not going to care that you're full. You're going to eat stuff anyway. So we neglect both things by, when we feel sad, blaming our weight on that sadness. So instead, we have to just feel the sadness. Like, it's okay for us to be sad, and it's okay for the fact that there won't be a day where that won't be there. But ultimately, we'll only ever have to deal with one mood at a time. So you don't need to deal with all the sadness you'll ever come across in your life. You only need to deal with today's sadness. That's it. You only need to think about, if you're feeling sad right now, you only have to deal with that. So what's your day like? What are your circumstances like? Is there any way that you could like soothe yourself and comfort yourself and cushion the blow of this sadness but without linking it to the past and the future, and this needs to change, and all of these external things on different timelines to the present. It's like, nope, just feel the sadness that is here now, and I suppose be kind to it, or be kind to yourself, you know. Treat yourself like someone else who's sad. And you know, like, I suppose, like, we're always really good at minding kids, aren't we? And you know, the way the new wave of parenting is very much, rather than suppressing, just be like, oh, I know, Pettine, it is sad. Oh, I know, you'll be okay. Do you know, that kind of thing, that you're not saying nothing happened, but by helping the child with the emotion, they will ultimately get over it and go back to their toys. They will, you know, they'll scream, they'll shout, or they'll bawl crying or whatever, but they get it all out of their system and they go back to normal. And that's what we need to do as well. But we kind of have this distraction method of trying to distract from our feelings by blaming the past and the future. And like I said, that doesn't end well when it comes to our weight. And I was talking to a client the other day, and like, she's doing really well, and like, she's really changed and she's really lost weight, and it's all really cool. But she was kind of in a mood where it was like, yeah, but when is it done? Like, when am I there? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember that mood so well. And like, we're just craving to get to this point where we'll no longer have these kind of days with our body, or we'll no longer feel sadness, or we'll no longer wake up with a heavy feeling body, or we'll never, you know, wake up having eaten too much last night. And it's like, no, all of those feelings are all going to happen again, and they happen to everyone, and they don't suggest a weight problem. You could be the healthiest weight ever, and you're still going to have to deal with a little bit of heaviness in your body some days, or your jeans feeling tighter, or your clothes feeling tighter. But like I said, you'll only ever have to deal with that one day at a time, like one emotion at a time. So there is no like safety line we can cross where we've lost the weight and now we're safe. We don't have to put up with, you know, that unsureness, because I think that's what creates a lot of anxiety. I know for me, especially when I was having a great relationship with food and moving on from disordered eating, having a great relationship with food would mean not tracking on a fitness pal or a tracking app, and it would mean not weighing yourself. And so when I was doing that, it meant I had to struggle with a lot of grey areas, because I could no longer define stuff as good or bad, right or wrong, pass or fail. I had to just move forward based on the feelings in my body and what my body was telling me to do next. Do you know how hungry I was, how full I was? But that was really hard, because you're kind of like, I just want some guarantee that I'm on the right path. I just want some guarantee that I'll be okay in the future. And it's like, that doesn't really come with any area of our life. Like, say, our relationship with a best friend or a sister or a partner, there is no guarantee that in 10 years' time there'll be no worries. And it's the same with our body. So I think a really great way around it is you don't need to be sad about where you currently are and then wish for this day where everything will be okay. Because like I said, that's unrealistic. No matter what weight you are in the future, you are still going to have days where you feel a bit meh about your body, or you feel a bit meh in your body, or uncomfortable because of food. And the big reminder is you are well able to deal with any one of those feelings. You're well able to survive a day at this weight. And that's all you have to do. Can you survive today at this weight? Can you survive the next 20 minutes at this weight? Because that's another thing that I think makes us sad, is that if we're kind of like, I just really don't want, you know, to be this weight in a month's time or a year's time. I really don't want to be stuck. And that's one of those things then where we have to be kind of like, okay, you're filling your brain with visualizations that kind of hurt you. Like, that kind of hurts your feelings. Like, I don't know, like, why would you imagine your children getting injured or bad things happening to anyone, you know, or anything in your life? It's like, that's not going to end well. So it's kind of like picking a scab. We have all these bad habits with eating and weight issues where we kind of keep visualizing non-crack things. And it's like, there's never going to be a point where you can just opt to visualize those things and feel well. That's not going to happen. So I suppose we can always take the rein there again and know the difference between sadness visiting, because sadness will visit and we can handle that. We don't have to be like Pollyanna positive today. We don't have to be the most productive person today. Like, we can just be a bit flat. There's no problem. There's no massive, negative consequence to just embracing our mood and not being crazy, shiny, happy or whatever today. You can survive that. But, it is, like I say, be careful not to link it or associate it with eating and weight. It is nothing to do with eating and weight. And then I know this because I've sorted my eating and weight. And now when I feel sad, I blame other areas of my life. And there's other areas of my life that I'm like, when will I get to this point and then I'll be happy? Now I think I listen to enough Abraham Hicks and Neville Goddard and all of those kind of people, Mike Dooley, that I'm just kind of like, I know that's not true. I know it's not true. So it's just today we have to sort. So I hope that kind of convinces you, first of all, that separate the two. And actually, I think a really handy thing to notice, because like I said, if you were having crack with your friends 2 days ago, well, then you're not sad because of your weight, because you were the same weight 2 days ago and you weren't sad. So it's not your weight that's making you sad. But I would kind of say that it goes the other way around. If we're all of a sudden we woke up this morning and actually, no, let's call a spade, my weight is wrong and where I'm at is wrong. I would be like, oh, when I think like that, I have sadness. Or when I think like that, I have anxiety or whatever it might be. So it's like, don't read into the topic, but use that topic coming up as your signpost that, oh, wait, my mood has dropped. And, then we've all the repetitive things that you're wondering why you were so down, and then your period comes and it's like, oh God, when will I learn that system? So just things could have suddenly dropped and suddenly started looking different. And then I suppose we have to check out all the other things, because it's like, how tired are you? How has your sleep been this week? How has your sleep quality been this week? How has your screen time been this week? Because I just think we can't trust a tired thought. So it's not the real you talking. I think we just have to go on pause until we catch up on our sleep a little bit, because they're all bad quality thoughts if you're tired. It's not the real you. It's not truth. It's not reality. When you're tired and you're thinking stuff about where you're at with things, it's not where you're at with things. You're just tired and your brain wants you to give up, go to bed, get some sleep, and it will all look better. And I think we're designed to that. I think we're designed to think such bad thoughts when we're tired that we've no option but to give up and go to sleep rather than wreck more things. Because like I said, us feeling sad and then getting involved and getting all stuck in and thinking about your eating and weight, you're going to make a mess of it. You're going to undo a lot of mental confidence and hope and progress that you've built internally and mentally and everything. So yeah, don't do that. Another one is, so I have a few ones. I suppose I have a few kind of action-based ones as well. So the next one is maybe, if it's possible, have a shower, even if you don't need it. And I saw a really great Feng Shui video the other day, and, it was saying a shower is not about being clean. It's about changing your energy, and washing off the energy of the day and washing off the energy of the people you were around, or washing off, depending on how deep you want to go with all of this, the kind of, maybe if you're empathic and you kind of absorb moods from other people or you absorb negativity from other people, having a shower is just a little bit of a restart. So it's quite an action-orientated one that, again, will help you come home to your body a little bit and work on being action-orientated and physical rather than in your head about the past or the future and how they could change, which is all just, you know, it's all just made up, all the stuff in our head about the past and the future. So, you know, it would be have a shower, change your clothes, brush your teeth, drink a pint of water and have a cup of coffee. Like, I'm like, I think that really those things change how you feel a lot. You know, you've got energy, you've got hydration, you've got cleansing. Oh my God, I can't say it. Cleanliness. You've got fresh clothes, clothes that maybe feel nicer, more suited to your mood than the clothes you put on first thing in the morning when you were in a different mood. You know, there's a lot there, and it's a way of taking an action as well. And you know, isn't it always the way that when we feel sad or down, you know, we mightn't want to do these things, but I think that's quite low effort, and I think we would be able to do it even if we feel a bit down. The next thing is do some affirmations in the mirror. So I kind of like the ones where you look in the mirror and you look into your eyes and say things like, I am going to take care of you, and you deserve to be proud of yourself, and you haven't done anything wrong, and you're exactly where you need to be today. Because I think when you look in the mirror and you look into your eyes and they're the same eyes that you've looked at ever since you were a little girl, like the meanness that can go on in our head just seems a little bit over the top, because it's kind of like our thoughts, when we're not connecting them to ourselves as a person and as a human, our thoughts are kind of keyboard warriors, because they'll say the most outlandish negative stuff. Do you know, like as in, you should be ashamed of yourself for what you ate yesterday. And it's like, do you know, if you said that to me, if you said that to anyone in the building that I'm in today, it's like, that's a bit unnecessary though, isn't it? It's a bit over the top. That like, I should be ashamed of myself for what I ate yesterday? Like, what does that even mean? Why would I have to be ashamed of myself for what I ate yesterday? So I think when you're looking in the mirror and you're looking into your eyes, and especially it's the same eyes that, you know, since you were a little girl, you're like, you're human, and you're flawed, and we're all flawed, and we're all doing our best, and we're not perfect, and some days are hard, and you're doing a great job. And there's no need for this unnecessary toxic chat. It's like, it's not how you'd help anyone, and it's just a little bit over the top. So I think the affirmations settle you back to, like, you know, it just gets you out of the wormhole of thoughts, because you know, we can be clocked out of reality. Like, to be fair, every time we're deep in thought, we're clocked out of reality anyways. So we can be deep in thought, we can be deep in negative thought, and then we're not connected to reality, we're not connected to the present moment, and we're not connected to the kind of 360 human that we are. You know, like, we could be saying those toxic negative things to ourselves about, like, you should be ashamed of yourself that you put back on that weight, or you should be ashamed of yourself, whatever. And it's kind of like, yeah, but your sister thinks you're amazing, and your best friends are like delighted to have you, and you actually have really shown how helpful you are in, I don't know, certain jobs, or in your career, or in the home, or to friends, or to your community. Like, you are a 360 person that is good at a lot of things. And then that keyboard warrior just in her head, just hiding behind things, is just like, oh, you suck because you ate too much last night. It's like, it's so one-dimensional. Do you know what I mean? It's so one-dimensional. So, yeah, so that's the affirmations in the mirror. Another nice one is put a lovely screensaver of yourself on your phone. And you might have done this before or heard of this before, but it's a little bit like the affirmations in the mirror, because it's like when you put that picture of yourself at 10 or 7 or whatever, and you're just this cute little girl trying her best to figure out the world, you know, and it's turbulent, and people surprise you, and they shock you, and they disappoint you, and things can be hard, and you can be emotional, and, you know, but like, I think when we see a picture of the younger us, we're kind of like, you know, she was doing her best, like the poor little thingy, you know, she was really doing her best. And it kind of just maybe gives you a prompt to be as kind to yourself right now, because you're still her, like, and you're still just figuring stuff out and wading through everything. And, keeping on top of things as best as you can. And, you know, you're doing a great job and it will all be okay. And just maybe like you'd say to that little girl on the phone that, you know, she's a great girl and there's loads of great things about her that she doesn't even know at the time that photo was taken. And same goes for us now. Like, we can't see the bird's eye view of us. So we're kind of the least likely person to see how great we are because we can't really see the bird's eye view of everything. So that could be a nice thing to do for yourself, because I suppose also this is all about moving team, because the team we're on when we have a weight problem is the anti-us. It's how can I belittle myself? How can I shame myself? How can I be derogatory to myself? How can I hold myself back from experiences, opportunities, ways of feeling good, whatever? And now we want to move team to the team that supports us, and we're actually gunning for our potential. And we want to be compassionate, encouraging, supportive, all of those things. So I think, you know, the affirmations, the pictures on your phone, it's all just part of you being on the same team as you now, and you having a united front to move towards your goal, rather than a conflict of interest where one part of you wants to move forward and the other part of you just is nonstop bullying you and belittling you, you know, so that part has to go. And then another one, I think, that's really valuable to me now that I've moved mindset problems and I don't have problems with my eating or weight anymore, but there's other challenging areas in my life. I suppose, you know, it's just to catch yourself in those moments and like be real, because you can't undo the past, right? And it's so convenient to say, I should have just stopped, you know, before I had the rest of the pizza last Thursday night. And it's like, that is such a pointless statement. It's like you have always, always, always done the very best you could with the mood you were in, the energy you had, the information that was going on in your head. You have always done your best. And it is futile and pointless and false and untrue to say last Saturday night, why didn't I just not eat that or not drink that and then it would all be easy or whatever. It's like, you are forgetting the you in that moment, that she weighed up all her options and the best she could do at the time was she ate what she ate. So that part's done. We don't need to erode our confidence anymore by second guessing that. We just need to get up and running again. And so rather than constantly undercutting our confidence by ruminating over those previous choices during the week that might have caused more heaviness or weight gain, it's like, yeah, they did happen and I can deal with that. Like, I can really deal with that. So what's super valuable for me, because I think it really means then that you hold your power, is that your reaction is everything, because we are always doing our best minute per minute. And now that, you know, say the sadness is here or the heaviness is here or whatever, it's how are you going to react? What are you going to do about it that's different to the you that has, you know, had this problem historically or been stuck in this problem historically? Because when it comes to your reactions, you always have choices. You always have choices to react differently. So I really do believe as well that it's lovely to tell ourselves that actually the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. Like, that's a cliche for a reason, because it's so true. So like, I would see these kind of blips, like basically a lot of people have struggled with losing weight or struggle keeping it off because they hit these blips where they go into doubt, they go into sadness, and how they're acting and reacting in those times is what keeps up the weight. So now we get to hit a blip and we get to be, I suppose, better at dealing with it. There's no other ways of saying it. So it's like we actually have the skills. We actually know how to be compassionate and like a good listener and everything when someone is sad or not feeling 100%. And there is no problem. There is no problem to feel a bit sad or not 100% for 8 hours or a day or whatever. It's grand. Like, this too shall pass. Whatever mood you're in, it will move forward. But while it's there, embrace it without being dramatic, without going into the drama of, oh, this is because of my weight, or this is because I haven't lost weight, or whatever. It's like, no, stop that. Like, embrace the sadness, deal with it, and deal with it like you would with other people. Like, just put yourself in the third person for the rest of the day and be quite, measured and stuff about it. Be like, no. Okay, logically, if my best friend felt like this, or my flatmate or my sister or whatever, and I was hanging around with her and she was feeling like this, what would I do for her? What would I do for her to make her feel better? They're the main ones. And I suppose another one that you could really do as well is be extra intuitive with food if you're in a bad mood. Because the thing is that all the noise in your head might force you to go to one of the extremes, either eating diet foods that you don't like, you don't need, you're not enjoying, or eat a load of crap that certainly you do not feel well after, or whatever. So instead, be really intuitive, because, you could be like, okay, I really want to drill down to exactly what I would like. What would I like? Maybe I'd like an Aero yogurt or something, something light and fluffy and chocolatey. Or maybe I'd just like, a few Haribo. Or maybe I'd like a juice. Or like maybe I'd like a piece of toast and peanut butter and a banana. Something kind of stabilizing and fibrous and a bit filling. And really just focusing on the healing and the minding. Don't go into the toxicness of, I'm wrong, my body's wrong, it's wrong that I feel like this today, sadness is wrong, whatever. Because like I said, that's not us preparing for the future. Because the best way to prepare for future sad moods is to do a really good job of how we deal with today's sad mood if we're in it. So I hope that helps. And if you want to work one-to-one with me, I would love it. I really love what I do. I really love helping people with all of this. You can check out my program, the Happy Weight program, on happyweight.ie. And then I have online courses as well that you're welcome to sign up to and learn and grow in your own time. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Okay, take care.